Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Gouda.Murder, a podcast where we talk about sharp kills and cheesy thrills. My name's Kelly, and I'm joined here by my Gouda queens, Miss Keely and Coda, or Ms. With both. You're both Miss, but I always like Miss Keely and Coda. Is that the proper term? Or Mrs. The Mrs. The anyway. Hi guys.
Hi. Hey.
Hi. I'm on a podcast, but doesn't mean I know grammar.
Ouch.
Anyway, so how are we feeling today? How are we feeling this evening, ladies? It's been a while. It's been a while, right? It's been a second. Like any noteworthy life changes, or just changes of life and work and
got a new phone.
Heyo, yeah, you just said that.
Yep, I did. I went from the dark side, from the Android side to the iPhone. Disgusting. So I don't have to hear anybody complain that I don't have FaceTime anymore.
Oh yeah, oof. There you go. Or like. Yeah, so me and Keely are still in Android life and loving it.
Forever.
Coda, however, she did upgrade her game and upgate.
I'm learning.
Wow. Learning. It's learning curve. Now let to tell me how it is, because I've always been Apple curious, but never full on dived into that bushel. So I would be. I know almost everybody that I know has Apple products, but I'm like, I don't know. Like whenever I try to get onto their phone, like they hand it to me, like, oh hey, just look this up, and I'm like,
yeah, I'm still there.
Where's the back button? Like there is no back button. Like where is this? Like, oh, you just do this, and I'm like, well, that's the stupidest thing ever.
Except now I'm learning that on my own phone.
Yeah,
so
that's so
I can be dumb in my own private.
There you go. You got a little bit more privacy with your dumbness. Cool, awesome.
Yep.
Very nice. All for it. I'm all for learning new things. You know all that tidbit. New things. It's actually getting warmer out. How do we feel about that? It's June. Happy Pride Month.
And 9 degrees.
And it's gonna be in the 90s this Saturday. I don't know if I'm excited or scared.
You excited for that? Disrespectful.
Why are we so?
You got your sunblock ready?
Yeah.
I do. Your rash guard ready?
Keely's literally in a hoodie right now in her little Barbie home.
I mean, I'm wearing a sweater too because she keeps her Barbie home like an icebox.
It's like walking into a little mini fridge.
Yeah. Well, but it's not here. So
what's up with that?
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. I'm excited, kind of, scared. I did go camping this last weekend, which was so fun. So fun. Went with my boyfriend and our friends, and it was super duper amazing. Fun tidbit, go camp. Buy yourself a portable fire pit, because if you go to a campsite and the fire pit selection is not in the ideal location, it's okay. You have your own fire pit, and that's what we did. Isn't that pretty cool, kids?
That is nifty.
It is nifty. I think it was like a ridiculous purchase. However, smartest purchase.
Keep it with you. Yep.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It was
keep
amazing.
That thing on.
Keep it on tap.
You keep the fire pit, or keep the sunscreen.
There you go. Awesome. And then nothing but marshmallows and hot dogs.
How's your bacon?
Keely, do a bacon check.
Side note, we're making bacon.
We're making bacon tonight.
We're making bacon.
We're making bacon because, and we're talking about the weather because it's getting warmer here. However, where we're going to be talking about is pretty cool still. I just checked the weather forecast for this location, and it is a high of 60s of this week, which is not bad. Is that your ideal temp, Keely? 60s? Mid to high 60s, That's good.
Oh my gosh.
We're getting cat sabotaged. But so where we're talking about is a little north. It's land of some, now I wouldn't say land of bacon, but land of maple and hockey players, a galore, and some really cool cheeses. Keely, where are we going? Where are we going, madam?
Canada.
Oh, Canada. I don't know the rest of your song, but I'll look it up and sing it later. We're going to Canada tonight, ladies. How exciting! The place where Niagara Falls.
I've been there. Yeah.
You have been to Niagara Falls?
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. I didn't know that.
I've never left the country.
Well, you can. Yeah.
I know. I have a passport and everything.
Wow.
I just get up and go.
See, that's one thing I do want. I want to get a passport. I'm just
do it. It takes a while for it to come in.
Doesn't it? Yeah, doesn't it take like a month or two? Something like that?
That's
I don't know.
lucky.
Go to the library.
Go to the library. See, I hear all these things. Go to the library, go to the post office, go to the... Can you get it at DMV too? Like, no. That's not
I don't know. I think you can
Probably
get your
not.
picture taken at like a Walgreens.
Okay.
But you
See,
still
all
have
these
to do
things.
your application elsewhere.
Interesting. Well, we'll circle back on that. And once I get my passport, if anybody wants to host an obnoxious blonde retriever, hit me up.
It's on her to-do list.
It's on my to-do list.
Kelly, that's how you end up on our murder podcast.
I know. Like, hit me up in the next episode. So, funny story.
We haven't heard from Kelly in a while.
I heard from Kelly for a while. It's like a slow digression of like, we haven't heard from Kelly in a while. We're really worried, but we're gonna keep going strong with this podcast.
Yes.
And then like months or like years later, oh, just kidding, and you finally replace me, and it's like not that great. And then then I become like actually topic of conversation. It's like, oh, so you remember Kelly? How
The
wonderful,
legend.
yeah, the one and only.
We finally found her body.
We finally found what happened to her. Dead. Yes, that makes me a little sad. But we're don't
This is in like
host me,
years.
don't roast me. Take me in, but don't. I don't know what rhymes with that. Anyway, don't kill me. So anyway, we're talking about Canada and talking about Niagara Falls. Not really, but full of maple syrup, bags of milk, the place of the maple leaf, Canada. I'm excited. I've actually always wanted to go to Canada. It would be
Bags of milk.
Yep.
Yes.
They don't have gallons or carton.
Well, I think they do, but like I've heard
They're
from
big
multiple.
on
I've heard from multiple friends of mine that have visited your lovely area, Canadians, that you do bags of milk, which is really cool. Yeah, rather than like plastic jugs. It's
I guess
more
I
common.
have seen
It's like
you cut it and put it in a pitcher.
Yeah, then you get the picture, and then that's it. So
Gotcha.
I'm like, oh, interesting. So we're gonna be talking about bags of milk and plenty of soft cheese, which I'm really excited to be talking about tonight. We have the bacon to complement the cheese at one point, which is really also exciting because who doesn't love bacon? And maybe hear about some murder, hear about some crime, hear about whatever you guys are going to be telling me, and we'll go from there. Because I don't look up the crazy facts. I don't look up the scary story part. That's you guys, and I just bring the cheese. So without further ado, I'll let you guys get it.
For that marvelous introduction.
Marvelous.
We're in Canada, and I am going to tell you guys about a World War II veteran turned folk hero bank robber. I bet everyone from Canada knows who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Edwin Alonzo Boyd.
Ooh.
Born on April 2nd, 1914, 4 months before Canada, being a part of the British Empire, entered World War I. His father, Glover Boyd, joined the war in August of 1915 and returned home when Edwin was a toddler. So he missed the first few years of his life.
That sucks.
Yeah.
As a kid, you probably wouldn't realize it or like really remember that much, but I think that
It would
would
be
mess up.
Tough for someone so young, because then you're trying to introduce yourself. Hey, I'm your dad.
And they're like, I don't know
This
what that
kid's
means.
like, I don't know who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
So-
your dad?
Yeah. Wow. Sorry.
So when Glover came home, the family moved into an apartment that was too small, and they quickly outgrew it, so they moved into a duplex in East York, which is just beyond Don Valley. Eleanor, Edwin's mother, became pregnant again soon after, and Glover joined the Toronto Police Department. The Boyd family moved a lot.
The Boyd family?
Boyd.
It really sounded like you said the Boyd family, and then, of course, you meant Boyd.
Boyd. Sorry.
I thought you meant like
I'll
the-
enunciate better.
No,
the
it's
Boys family.
it's also my hearing, too, because, like, at first I thought you meant, like, the Boys family, like, you're, like, referring to Boyd himself, and then you're like, the Boyd family, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Same thing.
I
The
think
Boys
that's a
family.
common miss here. Listeners, chime in with me. Come on. All right. It's not just me with the bad ears.
So the family moved a ton when Edwin was a kid. He went to a lot of different schools. But in 1930, Edwin's brothers contracted scarlet fever.
Oh.
And Eleanor, their mother, became sick while tending to her sons and unfortunately did not survive.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so Edwin took that loss pretty hard.
Yeah.
And not even 3 years later, finding it difficult to make a living, Edwin was picked up for vagrancy. by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Vagrancy? What's that mean?
Like homelessness.
Oh, okay.
Basically.
Okay.
And that's when he decided to join the army. So when World War II started, he joined the Royal Canadian Regiment, 1st Division. They crossed into France in 1940, and while posted in Surrey, Edwin met his wife, Doreen Mary Frances Thompson.
Jeez, how many
Lengthy
names
name.
she
She
got?
had a big old name.
I think it's ridiculous when people give like their kids like 2 first names or 2 middle names. Like, not ridiculous. One of your kids have 2 middle names.
Yeah, my stepson does.
Okay, wow. No offense, but ridiculous.
But honestly though, like most of the time, we just refer to him as the first middle name, like first name, first middle name.
See the fact that you have to just say that.
I mean,
it's totally within your right, or whoever's naming the kids. That
they were
coming out of
trying to
your
make the
vagina,
grandpas feel
go for it.
equal.
But, yeah.
It's my brother has 2 middle names.
Yeah.
Why? That's so ridiculous.
How's that foot taste?
Yeah, well, it tastes fine. I still stand by. I'm not redacting anything. I'm just saying.
No,
silly.
it is. It is a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot of
And
name
I
for
feel-
one little kid.
Yeah, it is.
Who's
Big name for
introduced-
little kid.
Who's introducing themselves with all those names?
I mean, if you like them both, but I feel like it's not. It's usually more of like a.
Shaking head, Keely. Yeah.
Don't you think it's more of like a Hispanic or a Latino
Descent.
tradition to do? Because
Yeah.
you usually have the mother's maiden name and then the father's name, but you
Yep.
have a bunch of middle. Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Mm.
A lot of names.
Well, I'm just ignorant then, so whatever.
Oof.
I'm admitting that.
At least you're honest.
I'm saying that. Oh, because some people are listeners chime in now. Kelly's like, Kelly's ignorant. Like, yeah, I know.
Brie
Sorry.
has 2 middle names.
Our friend. Yeah.
Yes.
Yikes.
Yes, she
All right.
does. Okay, so
Sorry, not to
anyway,
derail,
it
but that
is
was
it is
interesting.
more common than we think. So
Okay.
Doreen Mary Frances Thompson, she and Edwin married, and 9 months later, almost to the day, they welcomed Edwin Alonzo Boyd Jr. Their first baby boy.
At least it wasn't a bastard.
At least it wasn't.
What are you trying to say? I'm a bastard.
Offense, Keely. See, I'm
I'm just-
ignorant. That's just
I'm-
offensive.
No.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, I don't take offense. I know I am. I know I am, but what are you?
Yeah.
You're not.
I'm not.
That would be a really good. No, I don't think it would be a poor comeback. I'm legitimate. Like that's what the kid would say.
According
Ouch,
to the
sorry.
church. No, I'm just kidding. So little Edwin Boyd was born. 2 days later, the couple, after they welcomed their son, an air raid rang through. The bombing caused Edwin Jr. to suffer a cerebral hemorrhage, and he did not survive.
Oh, damn.
So they lost their first son. Edwin and Doreen lay their firstborn to rest August 30th that year in York Cemetery.
I don't feel like an asshole.
Yeah, Keely.
Yeah, you
Poor bastard
should.
baby.
Yeah. He wasn't a
baby.
bastard baby. He's a legitimate baby.
Yikes.
Poor little guy.
That is really sad.
I'm-
I cannot even imagine.
Nope, not even something I want to even.
No.
Or even outliving your kids in general. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like even if they were like passed away from
Yep,
an illness or something like that. You know what I mean?
I've told my grandmother she's like one of the strongest women I know.
Yeah.
We lost my mom in 2021 and then my uncle last year.
Oh.
Yeah.
So she
seriously.
lost 2 of her children within 13 months
Yeah.
of each other.
How? I mean, I don't want to.
I mean, I don't know how
but
she like. I love her to death, and I don't know how she's stronger than I am.
Yes.
I think I'd lose my ever loved mind.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Other than the fact she's got four kids still living and living for them.
Right. That's
Yep.
true.
What else is there?
Exactly. Just live. Yeah.
So, for the rest of the war, Doreen decided to join the effort along with her husband.
Oh, wow.
But then in December 1943, she gave birth to twins. So they had 2 kids. And then on May 24th, 1945, Edwin was officially discharged from the war effort, just 16 days after victory in Europe. So VE Day.
Oh.
Sweet.
When
Huzzah!
victory! When they returned home, Edwin found work, but they struggled. and he was fond of singing and acting, but could never get a job in show business. So he was bored with the slow pace and low pay of all the jobs he was trying to get or doing, and turned to a life of crime.
Oh, dear.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch.
From September 1949 to October 1951, Edwin pulled off half a dozen bank robberies. Eventually, his luck ran out, however, and he was sent to Don Jail in Toronto. And this is where Edwin meets the men that would compose the future Boyd gang.
The Boyd gang.
The Boyd gang.
The Boyd, not the boy gang.
No,
Boyd
the Boyd
The
gang.
Boyd. Not all the boys
No.
in their gang.
The boys are back in town.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah,
Okay.
time for a cheese break.
Ooh, perfect. I'm just taking a picture of our cheese board as we speak. Nailed. All right. So, we're in Canada with the Boyd family. And we are stepping back a little bit from a lot of this, war and baby making and not making, and then having two. And is that a good, I'm trying to articulate how I would feel having it's not even a miscarriage, it's just losing a child and then gaining two. Is that a blessing? Is that a stressor? Is that,
I'm sure it's just a bittersweet thing.
a bittersweet thing.
Still mourning the loss of your first child and then trying to be excited about the ones you have here.
Now you have two.
Yeah.
Now you do. Yeah. I would say
If anything, it's a fantastic distraction because twins,
yeah.
be busy.
I would be really upset, but also maybe a little happy now, contemplating I now, if I, getting towards the end of the pregnancy years, 30s and dirties, that's when twins start happening.
You are more likely to have twins than older.
Yeah, it's the
That
going
is
out.
terrifying to
That
think
is
about.
Keely's eyes.
I
Shit!
looked it up.
Yeah, it is.
Technical, quote, geriatric pregnancy.
Yep.
35 and older.
Yeah.
Being a heavy woman, you have a higher chance of having twins.
You're good, Austin.
If twins,
Austin's, you're good.
if twins run in the mother's side of the family,
Oof.
Yep.
Cool.
So,
No, actually, no, I'm safe
So
because
she's having quadruplets.
Yeah.
my husband and I dodged a bullet big time. My
Is it-
grandmother had two sets of twins.
oh my god,
And I was
no.
pretty chunky in my last
Oh,
pregnancy. I was.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
My heart's beating so fast right now.
With your fear. You're right. You're not even in your 30s yet. You're fine.
I hope
Wait, what?
if it happens.
Oh,
If
I
you
was like,
want-
oh.
if it happens and you want to continue,
Hey, you know how
it,
steep those stairs are in my basement?
Oh,
Really just-
no.
I said I'll help.
Oh, I thought you know raising the kids. I was like, they're
I
yours.
did, but that's up to you.
Oh, Cody,
I don't
you're an
want
angel.
them. I don't
Oh,
want to
no.
keep them.
They're yours.
If
You're
When we're,
really-
sign- when
okay,
we're signing the birth certificate, I'm writing Coda on it.
That's
Legally,
the
those
father
aren't my
of the
kids,
daughter.
so sorry.
If they're little gingers, I'd totally keep them.
Oh, that'd be cute. Red hair does run in my family,
Mine
and I
too.
love that. But
I
I'm
didn't
trying to
meet
think.
any
My
genders.
grandma, my dad's mom was a twin, and I know it skips a generation, so my brother didn't have twins. Oh,
Your turn.
but that's dad's side. You just said mother's side, and then I do have a pair.
But I mean, it runs in your family.
My
so
family.
you're the mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dipshit.
That's not my mother. I am
There's
the mother
twins.
in this scenario.
There's twins on my mother's side too. My grandma had twin brothers.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, on my mom's side, I don't think there's any on my mom's side. I do have my uncle. He had twins, or my cousins are twins.
Yeah.
Oop.
Anyway.
Anyway, I don't know why I'm worrying
Time out.
about that. So Canada.
Hold
I
my
love
stick
ya.
back.
Canada, I love you. In my research, of course, so Canada is a mixture has a lot of influences, including British, French, and some American influence, which really competes in every day and every aspect of their cultural life, especially food, and more specifically food. Jeez. I would say for the most part, I've, again, never been to Canada, but I am well aware there are a lot of French influences in Canada. Do you guys know that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oui, oui.
Okay. Yeah.
A lot of French-speaking people.
Yes,
Yep.
there's a lot of like French signs in Canada. French speaking is very, what would you say, common. I don't know what else, like
Yep.
the actual, common. And it's pretty cool. Again, another reason why I would love to go. I can't speak French worth any of my wit. However, there's a lot of...
Je m'appelle.
Je vais vous.
Je m'appelle. Oui, 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 oui.
Oui. Yeah, friends, anybody?
That's-
Phoebe, Joey?
That's the only
Yeah.
French I know.
I took French. I took French in high school. However, that would not get me anywhere today. Naturally. Ménage à trois.
Alright, stop flirting with me.
Anyway, stop flirting with me.
This is a cheese break.
So for the cheese break, there are many popular cheeses. A lot of cheese making, of course, in Canada, specifically Quebec. A lot of cheeses coming out of Quebec. And all of them are very, I would say, very French oriented, especially with their names. To name very, very much a few, because I know I'm going to butcher all of these names. Top 10 would be La Sauvignon, LA space SANVAGIN, La Sauvignon, which is a soft triple cream cheese from Quebec, as well as La Dernière,
Heck yeah.
which is also a semi-soft cheese from Quebec. Quebec, you got your cheese down. There is Cantinière. I want to say, okay, I'm going to pronounce it the very butchery American way. Cantonier, but it's spelled Cantonnier, which Cantier. Yeah, like anything with an ER. Yeah. Also from Quebec. Going through another few other things, Belle Creme, which is Canadian triple cream, which is very brie style cheese. All these cheeses very very.
That sounds almost like a drink, like a triple cream.
Belle
Like it should
Creme.
be a shot.
Belle Creme, yes.
Oh.
And so a lot of
Sounds
these
milky.
cheeses
Gross.
coming from Canada, coming from Quebec, have very much a few things in common. That they're very creamy, they're very soft, they're primarily cow's milk cream. There are a few sheep's, but a very primary cow's milk. All varying with different notes of fruitiness, creaminess, definitely freshness. And so for today, the cheese that I brought forth for us is a soft cheese. It is not technically a Canadian cheese because, again, we do live in Illinois/Iowa. Some of these cheeses aren't, super obtainable. However, in the theme and in the spirit of, brought us forth a camembert. Camembert? How do you say it? Camembert. Thank you. I took French, which is a soft cheese with a rind, very, very similar to a brie, however different. So it's a moist, soft cream. Very
Swear to God, it
moist.
was the chair.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was my phone in my lap.
In your what?
In my lap. I almost
You
said that
flap.
crotch in my clap.
No, you're flat.
I don't think
Honestly,
these are getting
none of
any
those
better.
answers are acceptable.
These are all very
Continue.
true. My phone was sitting in my lap,
Crotch,
on my
flap.
clap,
In your
next to my
Flap,
flap. And
How many flaps do we have there?
How many are there?
Yeah.
Probably
How many
like
are
six.
there?
I counted them myself.
We
Yeah.
probably should say clap.
no, I don't have the clap on my flap. Okay, let's just get that very, very clear. Okay, I'm clean, kids. I'm clean. So the camembert is a soft,
Hold on.
moist,
You're gonna get hit.
creamy surface,
Closer.
creamy surface ripened cow's milk cheese. It is when you see it in stores, you'll be like, oh, hey, that's a brie. It's very close to brie, however, it is different. Same thing with gorgonzola and blue cheese. It's not necessarily the same. Gorgonzola is a blue cheese-esque cheese, but it is classified as different. And same thing with this camembert. Camembert has a stronger lactic acid starters, which is during the production of it, production of the cheese process, I should say. So rather than brie has a much higher fat content, this cheese has a higher lactic acid content, which changes its taste. And Rizzo, I know you guys can't hear this, but Rizzo has been commandeered into the bathroom of jail because she can't stop fussing with any cords or us or meowing, and so we just hear her like, in the distance.
Like having a toddler running around.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I'm sorry.
Toddler Rizzo, toddler cat. It's cool.
I have human ones, so don't apologize.
It's all good. So, excuse me, I'm getting a little sidetracked and I hear her wailing in the background. So Camembert, because of its stronger lactic acid, or I shouldn't say stronger, but there's more lactic acid in the cheese while it's being produced, it makes the difference between itself and Brie. So Brie is much more creamy. It has a buttery taste to it, whereas Camembert is a little bit more fruity, has a mildly tang taste to it with mushroom undernotes. Okay, so yes, Coda.
My question about the lactic acid.
Yes.
When they make it, are they able to take it out, and that's why Brie is the way it is, or it's just the recipes produce one more?
Camembert has more lactic acid. So you're still adding lactic acid. You're still adding that acid to the Brie. However, it's just not as much with this cheese.
Okay, I didn't know if like they put all the ingredients in, and it was a natural byproduct, and you couldn't take it out.
No, it's more like once it's in, it's in.
Okay.
Which creates the cheese itself, because you're basically adding cream or milk with lactic acid and other enzymes, and that's what those are like the basically three things to all cheeses.
Gotcha.
And then just depends on how long you age it, what other enzymes you add, what types of rinds you have with the cheese. If you add more oxygen to it, cheese like Swiss cheese has a lot more lactic acid, which makes gas products, which causes the little fart bubbles, the little eyes in the cheese. So it's all very different, but very interesting.
You sound so incredibly professional right now.
Yeah,
thank you.
And you do an excellent job with your research. I just
yeah, you do. I wouldn't even.
She's not even looking down at her notes. Like she knows exactly.
I know this
saying.
cheese. No, because I love it. It's to me, it's like science, and I love science so much. And it's
Keely has
not chemistry.
Chem
No. More, I'm biology, not chemistry. So which cheese is?
I got microbiology next. So
I can help you with microbiology.
Perfect.
I could do that. Not chem. No. Anyway. Off topic. Looping it around. So not only does it have more lactic acid, like I keep saying, that creates more of a robust taste. So it's creating a different flavor. The cheese itself, very, very similar in texture and in appearance. The only thing that you get a difference of, I would say, is the taste. Especially if you're really into Brie or if you're like really know your cheeses. This is still very creamy, very mild tasting, very, I would say, almost like sticky. So when you cut into it, the rind it has this like outer white, chewy or rind
shell,
which is edible.
Did they say what it's made from?
I do know, but I don't have it written down. So that is one thing I don't know off the top of my head. So it's mostly just like just because it's more exposed to the air and elements is what creates this like harder. It's not even hard. It's just a soft rind.
So it
kind of looks like
self-produced.
It is still the cheese itself.
They don't dip it in anything.
No,
okay.
It's not like dipped. It might be like washed with another enzyme, but it's not like dipped in wax or like how some cheeses are where you can't eat the rind or you wouldn't want to. This is totally edible. It's just how it's aged. It has like a. I'm not gonna play with it. I'm just like petting the cheese.
That's definitely yours.
Yeah, you're right.
You touched it, it's yours.
Yeah,
she's just there fucking the cheese.
I'm just like petting it with my thumb. Anyway, so the difference is the lactic acid's in it. The taste is different. Not horribly where you're like, biting into it, you would know immediately. If you were to have one or the other, at different spans of your time, you'd probably be like, oh, yeah, this is the same thing. Probably, depending on the cheese itself, if you had it in the same sitting, you might be able to tell the difference. But again, just very, very similar. However, they're not the same. That's the distinction. I want to say they're not the same type thing. And with Cam, it does melt quicker. than brie. They both melt really easily. However, the cam, because of its, I don't know if it's because of its lactic acids are more into it, or I would think because the brie has a higher fat content that it would melt either. But no, like cam does get more runny when you cook it, much more soupier versus like brie is melty. If that helps distinct it. Runny versus melty, soupy versus creamy, something like that, kind of give you like a little bit more visual of the texture. So for today, we are going to pair it. We're not going to pair it with wine. We're going to wait on that until next episode. But this cheese pairs well with a multitude of things, such as like little baguette slices, water crackers, sliced apples, which we always got. And it also pairs well with certain types of wine drinks, which we'll get into later. So for today, and on theme with our Canadian roots, I decided to pick out, because I was looking at, you think Canada? What do you think of? You think of hockey, maple, and Canadian bacon. Like, that's what I think of, okay? And I did some research. A side note, Canadian bacon is different. Canadian bacon, ham, and bacon, of course, are all pork products. However, the differentiating facts is that Canadian bacon is from the back of the pig, which is, of course, the back. Whereas ham, like for your deli sandwiches, your ham on a stick, or, just
Christmas ham.
Yes, exactly. That is more like the leg portion of the pig. And bacon, just regular bacon in general, is like usually comes from our different multitudes of area, but like the belly, back, or side. So like the more like gut areas. Canadian bacon is just the back half. Again, ham.
It's leaner than bacon, right?
Canadian bacon is leaner than actual bacon. Yes.
Okay.
So Canadian bacon, ham, and bacon, it's just depending on where you're cutting it from the pig. So bacon itself is probably going to be the most fattiest because it can come from the belly or sides of the belly or the back. But mostly your bacon has a lot more higher fat content. Ham is a little bit, I would say, a little more musclier. And then your Canadian bacon, which usually you get like thinner slicer, it is from the back of the pig, which, I mean, if you've seen a pig, it's all fat, it's all muscle, but, those are the different areas. Anyway, so I got some bacon, but I also got, leaning into the Canadian portion, maple bacon to try with our cam cheese. Okay. So I was sizzling up and cooking up some maple bacon, and you can smell, it is a mapley, a very much mapley bacon. And we're just gonna take a slab.
You better take that cheese.
I want a slice of this. I'm gonna go. Yeah, baby. We got some bacon. We got some cheese. Who ain't happy? Me.
Smelling the cheese.
I'm
happy. It's got a.
Yeah. Okay. Smelling cheese.
Not a strong smell, but it's
It's very. I would say earthy smell.
Yeah, I was gonna say a little musky.
A little musky. And I think that's mostly the rind as well.
Smells like a wet basement.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And again, it's mostly that rind. That's what it is.
The rind does have.
It's
that
the
flavor.
rind. It's not the actual cheese itself.
Yeah.
I think the cheese itself is very, very soft and lacks really much of
Okay,
a
so it
smell.
had mushroom undertones, correct?
It does. It does have mushroom
taste that.
undertones, and that's
It's just
mostly in the
straight
rind
rind.
as well.
Yeah.
It'll have like again, fruity, mildly tangy with mushroom undernotes, which I think is mostly the rind, but
It is.
yeah, it is.
Yep.
It is. Okay, but take it with this maple bacon.
Yeah, because the gooey innards don't
Yeah.
really have a flavor.
No, it's just creamy.
Just like me.
Mmm. This is good. Ooh.
Good combo, yeah.
Especially with the maple. It makes it look
yeah.
sweet. This would be really good, like a grilled cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Anything. Oh, I mean, what wouldn't be a grilled cheese? But this, I think, would make a really good grilled cheese with some bacon, maybe a little bit of tomato, pickle. I'd add some pickle.
Mm-hmm.
Who wouldn't add pickle? Oh my god, I love pickle.
Good
But
combo. Good
combo.
choices.
Good combo. So it also, besides the, like I said, the crackers, sliced apples, it does go well with like other fruits, but like, I mean, apples. We got our apple here too today, so I'm gonna, as staying true to the Gouda fashion,
Apple and cheese.
apple and cheese. Here we go.
What kind of apple is it? Honeycrisp?
Yes,
Good choice, always.
always a good choice. Always a good choice. Yeah.
Paper sticking out.
Yeah,
That one's
and like so, and the
That
cam,
one's
like it is a stickier cheese. So when you slice it and you like don't don't layer the slices on top of each other like I do.
Oops.
Because at room temperature, the inner, the actual cheese itself will get sticky. Will get, like, not melty, but, like, it's sticky. It's not something that you can just slice and dice and just leave it. You're going to want to put it on something.
You're cheating.
Why?
You took the rind off.
You're cheating!
You gotta eat the
She got a graveyard
musty.
of rind over here.
Yeah,
Got lean
it tastes
into
pretty
it.
good with the sweet apple.
It does.
You get musty sweet apple. God, we need YouTube. The facial expressions we all
YouTube to come. We have a connection of a possible camera, but we got a little bit more information on that. We have a little bit more research on that.
We also need to do Gouda.Go and make a trip to like the cheese fest up in Wisconsin.
Oh my god, I would love that so much. So anyway, this is a good cheese break. I'm gonna enjoy some more cheese and bacon, and I'm gonna listen in on what more horrendous things Coda has in store for us.
Fabulous. Love some
So
cheese.
good.
Love some cheese and bacon. Can't go wrong. So when we left off, Edwin had just gone to Don Jail in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where he meets Lenny Jackson, a former hairdresser who lost his foot in a railway accident.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I got... You ever swallow your spit wrong?
OS? Never mind.
Excuse me.
That's what it was. Okay.
I swear to God, I've been here this whole time.
I've
guys.
been here. Like seducing me, Coda. Jesus.
He also met Willie the Clown Jackson, who was in no way related to Lenny.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
His alias was the Clown.
The
Willie the Clown
Gotcha.
Jackson.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Middle name the clown.
Correct. Right.
Talking about two middle names.
Okay.
The
How
Clown.
normal that is.
So Lenny and Willie are not related. Edwin meets these guys in jail, and this is where they start to plot their escape.
Oh, naturally.
Lenny used to be a part of a gang. That prosthetic wooden foot that he got after that railway accident, perfect hiding place for blades. And they use them to cut the bars and
Nice.
scale the wall and get free.
Okay.
Just my flaps.
Oh, your phone flap. Free and on the run, the unrelated Jacksons and Boyd met up with a man named Val Lesso, a member of Lenny's former gang.
Yeah.
Val changed his name to Steve Suchan, and the group resumed their string of bank heists. Edwin was known for his dramatic displays during the robberies. He would dance and entertain the customers as the rest of the crew bagged up the cash.
Wow.
This is where he liked to be acting and singing, so why not show it off?
Why not be a vandal and entertain?
Right.
Mm.
So,
Okay.
excuse me. Because of his theatrics, the news began calling the criminals the Boyd Gang. Not because Edwin was the mastermind behind them, but because he was the most popular during the robberies. He was the one talked about the most.
Okay. And do these people, like, I know, like, some people, like, you know, like, back in the day, like, and we're the whatever clan, and tell all your people about, like, is that how they find out who these people are?
So,
You know what I mean?
oh yeah, so, like, his disguise was, it didn't do much.
Okay. So people recognized him.
He would stuff his cheeks with cotton to, like, change the appearance of his face, but then he couldn't talk.
As in just
So-
making his face look puffier?
Yeah. Make his jawline look different, but he couldn't speak well with it, so then he'd have to take it out to talk. Like,
Oh my god.
I'm assuming that is a correct fact. I know they
There's a
used
lot
it.
of
So
planning in this.
they made a movie of him
Oh,
in
really?
2011 called Citizen Gangster.
Okay.
And they did say that the main character, Scott Speedman, who played Boyd,
Yeah.
kind of took some creative freedom when it came to, like, the theatrics that Boyd actually did in the bank robberies.
Okay.
But in the movie, and I'm guessing this is probably a true thing,
Yeah.
a lot of the bank tellers were excited that he was there. They're like, you're sticking it to the man. They thought he was attractive. He wasn't a bad-looking dude. And I guess people looked up to him, especially the veterans who were also struggling, you know, financially.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of like a Robin Hood sort of. Like,
Yeah, except he
Nah.
wasn't giving the money to anybody.
Yeah.
He was keeping it. So, Willie the clown ended up getting caught and was arrested again. Edwin went into hiding with his wife, Doreen. She stayed with him. She wasn't happy about what he was doing. She was scared for her and her children, but she stayed with him. But after numerous tips from residents in Ontario, the police ended up catching Lenny and Steve Suchan in a barn in Don Valley. Edwin escaped. He managed to avoid capture until March 15th, 1952.
How long is that?
This was...
I'm just curious. I'm like, oh, was that like, I can't remember, like, I'm terrible with dates, so it's like...
I'm not sure exactly how long he was in jail the first time because his first string of robberies was until October 1951.
Okay.
So I'm guessing he wasn't in jail very long because then, when they got out, they started robbing, and then he got caught in March of 1952. So
so for me, like, just like a span of like a few months,
maybe.
Okay.
Maybe less. It was less than a year, probably.
Gotcha. Interesting.
So Lenny Jackson and Steve Suchan, in the middle of here, and I don't remember. I couldn't find the date, but then again, it was bad of me. I didn't look up the actual date of it happening. They ended up killing a detective who was on their trail.
Oh, shit.
They shot him.
As one does. I mean, somebody on my trail. Better watch out.
Yeah, bang, bang. So
Bang, bang.
they were executed for the murder of Detective Tong.
Oh.
And then Edwin was given 8 life sentences in Kingston Penitentiary.
Wow.
8 life sentences.
Yep. Willie, the clown, he was already in jail, but they ended up giving him 30 years. However, both men were released on parole after only serving 10 years.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Serve 8 consecutive life sentences. 10 years later, you're good.
I'm guessing because at the time they were never charged. Like, they didn't hurt anybody.
Right,
they robbed the banks,
They're just stealing people's money. Right. That is, I would say, like, in crimes, you stealing money versus you killing somebody is very much lesser of offense.
So Edwin ended up living the rest of his life in British Columbia, and he worked as a bus driver for disabled people.
Oh, okay.
Doreen did end up divorcing him. She wasn't happy anymore.
Yeah.
And she ended up getting arrested at one point,
Doreen!
And because she was in hiding with him, and she got charged $5. Like, that was her fine. But you got to think, this is in the 50s.
Right.
$5 is a lot of money. So she got put in jail until she came up with her bail.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know how long it took her to raise that money. But anyway, she divorced him.
Officer.
Stop that. She divorced him. Anyway, Edwin, while he's driving this bus for the disabled, he ends up meeting a woman who is disabled and starts a relationship with her.
Oh.
He marries her and then cared for her for the next 35 years.
Oh.
That's sweet.
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming physically disabled and not...
Well, I would hope so.
I'd hope so.
But you never know. Just kidding. Anyway, I'm sorry, go on.
Edwin lived a seemingly straight and narrow remainder of his life, but we think he's a nice guy, right? 2 months before his death in 2002, he ends up admitting to murdering Iris Scott and George Vigas in 1947.
Oh.
And never got caught. So he killed this couple and he admitted it 2 months before he died.
Yeah, at what point,
Yeah. He was 88 when he died. So what did they
getting everything off his chest so he can go to the good place,
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Whatever,
right.
however that works.
My Lord and Savior.
That
that
magic. That hocus pocus.
So like I was saying, they made a movie.
Being serious.
Okay, you believe whatever you want to believe.
Exactly.
Just the way you said it.
Okay.
They did make a movie about him called Citizen Gangster in 2011.
Citizen Gangster.
Scott Speedman portrayed Boyd. It depicts the events of the Boyd gang and depicts Edwin as a man just desperate to feed his family. So, as documented in many articles, Edwin was a folk hero to veterans and the downtrodden individuals who struggled just as he did. So a lot of people liked him. I mean, a lot of people were scared. They didn't want to get caught in the crossfire of them robbing these banks, but he was a popular dude, and he sold newspapers. It was, I'm serious.
And
he sold newspapers. Seriously, like, They one video I watched on YouTube talking about him, they said like what did he say? One area of Canada at the time didn't have enough coverage, so a lot of people didn't know about him.
Oh.
But the areas that did, newspapers were flying off the shelves because they were just talking about this guy all the time.
Yeah.
And he was hard to catch. It took a while for them to catch him. But honestly, it was hard not to find him likable after reading about him and watching interviews of him, because they had one interview of him and he's like, I heard of another guy robbing a bank and got away with it, and I figured if it was that easy, why am I working? Truly, like,
that's not a wrong way of thinking of, point A to point B. However, maybe not stealing. I don't know. There's no right way to steal, is there?
Steal from the rich.
Give to the poor. I mean, they were stealing from the rich and giving to them poor selves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They benefited.
They benefited
For a while.
In the movie, I don't know if this is true, but in the movie, Doreen is like, he comes home with a new car, and they're used to.
Did you watch that movie?
Yeah, I watched it. So in the beginning of it, it's like her birthday, and he got her this really cute cardigan or whatever, and she's like, it's so pretty, and she's like, I'm just gonna take it off now. I don't want to ruin it, and he's like, you can just enjoy it for tonight, because he planned on returning it because they didn't have the money to keep it, but he wanted to get her something nice.
That's sweet,
right? So then you don't feel like he's the bad guy, because he just went to World War II and fucking fought for his country.
But whatever. We could go on a whole tangent.
Oh, yeah,
about
for
that.
sure. But anyway, that's why he became like this folk hero, bank robber.
Interesting.
So, I thought it was a little bit of a lighthearted story for y'all.
It definitely reminds me of, like, not Bonnie and Clyde, but, like, you hear about those, like, yeah, we're gonna, hit up this bank, yeah, and don't you forget we're the Netherland boys, and tell all your friends about, like,
it's funny because they likened him to John Dillinger. Like, he was the Canadian John Dillinger.
Yeah,
is what they compared him to, because he was charming and he was a good-looking dude.
Yeah, and that's how you. I mean, and you think about it, really, not thinking of like thieves, but the way that people manipulate others is by using their charm, their looks, their whatever, like their charisma, however you want to call it. Mm-hmm. Because I feel, and this is maybe sound a little dark, but like it's not. That's what sales is. It's just talking people into buying what you want to give them, or talking people out of things that they may or may not want to sell. Which, I mean, obviously they were straight up just stealing, but I mean, like, there are so many people, or I wouldn't even say corrupt. I mean, corrupt is a harsh word, but like, there's so many people out there that use their charm, their whatever, to talk their way in or talk their way out of so many situations that, like, when you hear about it, you're like, oh my God, that's just criminal. Like, how did this person get away? It's like, well, because they were good at what they were doing.
But it didn't come without its risks. They even, in some of the articles I read, it said that flat out these bank managers would run out and follow him into the street and shoot at him while he was escaping.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he could have been killed the entire time. Anytime. Could have been shot.
I watched a video of a lady that was a manager at a dollar store in Texas. She chased a guy on a bicycle. No gun.
Oh, really?
Nope, no gun. She chased him down on his bicycle with her car. She hit him with the car. Knocked him off the bike, obviously.
Yeah.
Grabbed all the shit that he stole, put it back in the car, and was like, try again, motherfucker. Backed out and drove back off. She's like, try to come to this dollar store again. I was like, oh my God. In the $1.25 store?
Yeah.
For some laundry detergent?
That reminds me, when I was working at a local gas station, one of the women I worked with, she was a badass bitch, and it never had.
Just whispered that.
She was like, it's a badass bitch.
Yeah.
So she was, though, and luckily, thank God, it never happened while I was working. But a few of the stores around here have been robbed. Yeah. And she was on duty when it happened one time, but it was a young guy, and he came in and he's like, give me the money in your drawer. And she's like, I don't have anything.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't fucking believe you. Give me she's like, I don't fucking have anything. Like, literally, we're not even allowed to keep $50 in our drawer. You're not getting anything. And he left. She's like,
Yeah.
I'm not giving you shit. Like,
Yeah.
I would have been like, okay, here.
Yeah, seriously.
My job is not worth my life.
Exactly.
I
You
mean,
never know.
they do tell you that, like, cooperate.
Oh, yeah. Like,
let them leave. And
any
then call the
business that
police
tells
and
you
lock the
otherwise,
doors.
fucking leave them. But, like, that Texan lady, that sounds like Texas, though. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm trying to think if I was in that position, if it was a good day,
It was a good day.
I'd 100% fight back.
If I was vibing,
If I was in a bad mood,
no way.
like, yeah, let's bring it. Bring
right,
it on.
I'm Deanna.
No
bitch.
way.
Let's fucking go.
No, never.
I'll jump over this.
I'm definitely flinging everything at you and like, here, take some gum too. I don't fucking care. Leave me alone.
You want to scratch off spigot too?
Yeah.
I'll just, hold on, let me activate it first.
Click the panic button and then hold on.
Yeah.
Beep. Oh, it didn't go through.
Yeah.
Beep.
I
Oh, it
forgot
didn't
my
go through.
password.
Yeah,
I'm
hold
gonna
on.
be like, I can open this safe, but it's
Come
gonna
on,
say
go for a second.
it's a 2-minute timer.
beep.
You got to wait. Yeah.
That would be a good stall though. If I wasn't like shitting my pants, that would be a good stall.
But one of the things
Just
they tell
shitting
you,
your pants
but
would be a stall.
one of the things they tell you though is don't hit that panic button until they leave,
Really?
Yep.
Why?
in case it turns into a hostage situation.
Oh,
Yep.
Let them
shit.
have their stuff, get them out of the building, then go run and lock the door, and then call the police.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
See, that's where I would fuck up. Hostage situation.
Kelly
Here I
immediately
go.
just pressed the button.
Yep.
Some
Did
crackhead
you hit
walks
that
in
button?
and immediately she goes,
Nope. Yeah.
The
seriously.
only situation I found myself in when I worked for that company, and I mean, it comes with the territory of that job, especially when you're open all night. I guess I can be pretty naive or just feel bad for people. I got played. Plain and simple. This customer came in and was saying that he missed the bus he was staying at the shelter
Oh, yeah.
out in town or whatever. He missed the bus to get there. He wasn't going to get there on time. And I was like, here, I don't care. At the time I could afford it, and I would hope that someone would do the same for me if I truly needed it. So I gave him a little money to get like a Motel 6 room for the night.
Oh, you're
Right.
so sweet.
Oh yeah, this motherfucker totally used and abused that. I got him an Uber to go. He switched the address, went somewhere else, and took the money. 100%. And then after that, he thought he could just come in and ask me for help all the time.
It's like, no,
And when
dude.
I told him no, he got angry and belligerent. I'm like, dude, you need to leave or I will call the police.
Yeah.
It was scary. Like, for the longest time, I thought I was afraid to go. Like, I had to
Go
go to
in.
work, but I was like nervous the whole time. Is he
Like,
gonna
what if
fucking
so-and-so
show up? Like,
shows
what
up?
if he gets actually pissed off? Because one of my other co-workers worked at the hospital. And when she worked at the hospital, I think she was a CNA or housekeeping or something.
Mhm.
This guy used to hang out in the hospital
Like a lot.
cafeteria
Oh, yeah. Yep.
and would get belligerent and mad when they would make him leave.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, this is fucking great. I'm gonna get shot. I'm gonna get shanked at work.
Yeah.
Like,
Nope.
luckily after I did call the police on him one time because he was soliciting, and I'm not saying like sexually soliciting, but like
Right.
asking for other customers
That's soliciting.
for money from other customers.
That's still soliciting.
I called the police and I didn't even have to describe him.
They're like, we're on our
They're
way.
like, does he have this, this, and this? I'm like, yep. They're like, yep, we know him. We'll be there.
Oh my god.
He did it all over the place. Businesses all over town.
No.
Yep. I'm happy I don't work in that situation
No.
anymore.
That's scary. My friend works at a grocery store in a specific area in this city, and it is not a great area.
I love the vague so much. This is great.
Well, I don't
No,
wanna tell
I'm
anybody
proud
out.
of you.
You
Yep.
know that.
Keep going.
But she was telling me over our dinner the other day that she gets like, drug users or she said she most lovingly say crackheads that come in all the time, and they go into the bathroom
Yep.
completely get naked, and then like how other patrons, whatever day-to-day people complain about it, and then like my friend was like, well, what do you want me to do about it? Like I'm not gonna like go in ma'am,
You need to please
put
get
your
dressed
clothes
and
on.
leave.
Like, I mean, obviously, like in that situation, I think other people expect you to, but like, no, I'm just gonna call the police
Right.
because
Yeah.
That's above
I'm
my
not
pay grade.
dealing with that.
When I got hired with them, some of the people who were working there and training me, they're like, yeah, sometimes we get drug users. We actually had to call 911 for somebody who went in and they were shooting up heroin They're using the fucking back of the toilet, passed out in the bathroom.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were in the bathroom. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is fucking great. And I multiple times found little Coke baggies. They drop on the
Icky.
floor.
Yep.
I'm like, grab a napkin and throw that shit
I'll
away.
save that for later.
Yeah, like I mean,
Little-
I know,
little-
I understand,
Little sample, little booger sugar.
or I don't understand, and I can only sympathize and only imagine what addiction does to people. However, other people get naked and like spread like shit their pants and spread poo all over
I
the
don't
walls in
understand
public
how
places.
people can
Like,
just
why
like
would you
shit
do that?
up the wall.
Yeah,
I multiple times.
yes.
Or the bad
Seriously,
grandpa or whatever.
Yes,
I'm not
exactly.
even joking. And there were multiple times where I'm like, I'm just gonna lock the door, and I don't get paid enough.
Yep.
I'm locking the door. It's out of order. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yep.
I can't do anything
I'm sorry.
about
I'm
it.
not getting fucking C diff from
Yeah.
you dirty mofos who come in here and just fuck the place up.
No.
Yeah,
So.
no. I think employers or like places of employment. I
But they
had to
expect you to.
I had to pick up a turd once. Granted, it wasn't diarrhea turd, but it was like a cold left out human shit.
Speaking.
But I picked it up not because I wanted to, because I was naive and young and not even 20, and my manager said,
Was it last year?
no. F no. I am the manager. I'd be like, all right, we're going to call somebody because nope.
Sorry.
Get your hazmat. We got a
Nope.
2319.
We got 2319. Nope.
There's a sock on the ground.
Yeah, but like I remember like, being younger and like being in a public, it was not the place where obviously I work now, years and years ago. However, but like I over the radio, I'm like, hey, there's a turd on the floor. And it was like right in front of the urinal, not on the urinal, not in the stall, just fucking right out in the middle of nowhere. Poop.
I swear to God, they don't give a fuck.
And I'm like, excuse, like, and how freaking awful is that? Like, I've never once in my life been like, hey, fuck this place. I'm gonna turd on the floor. Like, how?
I do it all the time.
I could be
Never.
completely
I'm just
shit
kidding.
faced and still make it in the toilet. Like, what the hell?
No, never.
I will say the funniest situation with the bathroom, like the gas station I worked at sold firewood, right? In
Yeah.
those little bundles.
Yeah.
And somebody comes out and they're like, someone left a log on the floor. Somebody had taken a bundle of firewood into the bathroom for whatever fucking reason and left it on the floor. So I had to laugh about that because they literally left
A log.
on the floor. I'm like, oh,
That's a
thank
good
God
joke.
it's not
That's a
actual
good
feces.
joke. But I don't know how we got on this poop
I don't
conversation.
either.
Sorry, listeners.
Oh,
but
robberies.
it's interesting.
Robberies.
Okay, robberies.
Working in the public. and-
Working in the public, drug addicts, poop. Gotcha. Got
Yeah,
it. It always leads to
all
in my
circles back.
family. It always like this. It is an actual saying in my family. It always leads back to poop because no matter what we're talking about, it always cascades down to something gross, poop. Gross, poop. Sorry, anybody, whoever I bring over, like you gotta hear about poop.
You don't have a poop knife, do you?
A poop knife?
Okay,
I've
we'll
seen
we'll
that.
talk about this.
Oh,
later.
that's
Yeah.
till next time, listeners. Thank you for stopping in. I'm going to learn about poop knives. Don't email us about it.
You can.
I mean, if you have
Send
one,
us your poop knife.
no, don't.
Sorry.
Please.
Send us a photo of your poop knife.
Yeah, please.
No,
not
don't send a
unused.
photo. 'cause I
Unused.
don't-
Actually,
No.
come on, what?
Send us, if
Just
anything,
a story. A story.
a
How
story.
about
I don't need to see narrative. I don't need to see pictures. It's fine. I'm good. I know how to read.
Send it over.
But if you are interested in emailing us, email us at Gouda.Murder@gmail.com.
Mhm.
You can also reach us on Facebook at Gouda.Murder Podcast Official on Facebook.
Mhm.
And we also have an Instagram, which make sure to follow that. And that is Gouda.Murder Pod. You'll find us. You'll know our logo. And what do we say, ladies? What's the
There's a
left?
TikTok.
There's a TikTok.
TikTok.
Just Gouda.Murder, right?
Yep.
Gouda.Murder on TikTok. It really anything. If you start typing in Gouda.Murder,
And
you're
see
bound
a-
to find
You
us.
see
Hopefully,
a slab of cheese with a knife in it. That's
yeah.
us.
us.
You got a stabbed knife cheese. Until
You know
then,
where to please.
you know where to please. Okay.
Anyway,
Stay
stay fresh.
Cheese
Cheese
bags.
bags.